Hi everybody, Leslie here, back in my craft lab, and I'm doing a quick what did you get? This is my birthday month. I am probably going to purchase a few things with what will be birthday money off, like my parents and things. So I wouldn't normally buy this quantity of things. I've been in the range, I've been in HobbyCraft, and I've got a massive bag of things that I got in mainly in the CraftStash sale section. If you're in the UK, obviously all of this should be available to you. In the US, I know CraftStash you can do in the US. I don't know about some of the other places, but there's a little bit of everything in here. This was £2.49. This is Artstudio, which is the range's own brand of arts and crafts stuff. So if it says the range Plymouth on the back, the range started in Plymouth, and I know that because my husband is originally from Plymouth. There's only 4 different designs in here, and there's 6 sheets of each. And they're 200 GSM. Definitely a card. This is not a paper pad. There's 24 sheets in here. But look, it's all glittered, all completely encapsulated, and it's a small enough gradient that you'd show on most cards. So I've had gradient cardstocks where by the time you put it on a card, you've lost the gradient. But how cool are these? And I thought for £2.50, they're all 6x6 inch sheets. If you like a sort of fantasy look or a sunset, you could use that. I think you could use that with green at the bottom, and then this is a sunset, so you could put flowers, you could put little critters, anything to make a small scene on that. No ink blending needed, and it's all shiny, glittery. You would struggle, I think, to do any sort of other technique on top of this because it has got like a coating that's holding the glitter in. So I wouldn't be stamping direct onto this. So I think it's something you'd be putting die cuts on top of or using as a background. But I think it would emboss okay because I don't think the coating's thick enough that it would crack or anything. £2.49. I thought that was absolute bargain. And there were other glitter 6x6 pads. This whole thing, so that's this whole block, cost £4.99. So let's start with the card. This is A4 and it's 300 GSM. So this is the really nice heavyweight card. And it is, yep, it's solid core. So it's black all the way through. And it's definitely got a little bit of texture to it. So it should work perfectly for grabbing onto those watercolours. They had different sets. The colour ranges varied slightly from set to set from what I could see. They're in a little tray that slides out. Yeah, they're very similar to the Gansai Tambe size of little watercolour palettes, if you're familiar with those. Now, I think they're probably not as full, so can you see? It's in there and it dips down quite a lot. But I'm a card maker. I'm not doing great big canvases when I do these things, and watercolour paints go a long way anyway. They haven't got any marking on them. So I think if I was going to swatch these, like I showed in my swatching videos, I would perhaps print or write a little sticker label to put it on the back. So that's the other set. This is more your traditional metallics that I got. I'd easily pay £5 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 paints. And all that was £5. And that wasn't a sale price, that was the normal price. I will report back when I've had a play with these and show you what they're like. But yeah, bargain. And something I want to say is, I'm a card maker. I'm not doing high quality works of art. So I don't mind having cheaper art supplies. So I don't have Copic markers. I don't have, the really high quality paints because I don't think I would use them and get the use out of them. As long as it works well enough for the techniques I want to do, I'm generally happy with that. This is my subscriber copy. It's the only magazine I subscribe to. This is issue 133 of Creative Stamping magazine, and mine came really late. It was actually after it had been released in the shops, and I usually get it about 3 days before it's been released in the shops. But how fun does this look? I've not had a chance to even flick through the magazine yet with Easter and kids off school and all that sort of thing. But it's got all these amazing typography type little sections with flower and love and the descriptions of the words, interesting stamps. So the 2 stencils that came with it, one is a lowercase alphabet, so you could just use the individual letters. And then the other one is like a full background. And then this one fits over the top of your stamps. So you can stamp this and then ink blend just your butterflies. So we've got, So we've got 1, 2, that one fit that one, yep, 3, 4, and there's a dragonfly as well, yep, 5. I think that's the first time in creative stamping that I've seen them do that and actually have the stencil to match the stamp, so that's a nice touch. And I always like the magazines because they always do lots of examples that use the free gifts. If you're a beginner, it gives you some starting points and some ideas. This one is still in the shop. In the UK, you can get it in some of the supermarkets, but it's always on CraftStash, and it stays on CraftStash until they've run out of copies that they've printed. So sometimes you can even get them half price. It depends how popular the magazine's been. This is a storage lap desk, and this came from HobbyCraft. Basically, a tray with a little extra bit and a top. It's like a wood effect top. It's actually MDF with a veneer on. It's got a little ridge around the edges, so it will catch things. It's just bigger than an A4 sheet of paper inside this frame. Most projects you'd be working on sitting on your knee would fit. The reason I got this, I do take things out of my craft room and go and sit on my sofa in an evening. And it's got a little clip-on tray, and then it's got all this bit, so you can sit this on your knee, and it's got mesh, so you're not going to get too hot with like some plastic solid sitting on your knee or a cushion or anything. Or you could sit it on a cushion on your knee if you prefer. So I thought it was kind of perfect to have the storage underneath, put your scissors and, you know, whatever you're using in the little tray. You can also then put your little lid back on. This wasn't cheap. I think this was about, I'm going to say £25. So this wasn't a cheap thing. But if you get the HobbyCraft vouchers, if you ever go in there, and I know that they send you like a voucher on your birthday, I'd say, you know, this is the sort of thing that I'd spend those on. Finally, I got a big bag of goodies from CraftStash. I have got VIP membership. So some of these were VIP member bundle things, but I think one of the times it was on offer. I think I paid £5 to join for the year. I've had these glue pens in a slightly different format from Tonic Studios, and I always really liked them. These have got a pointy tip on one end, a screw-on lid on both ends, and they've got like a little, it's almost like a little silicone spreader on the other end. I don't think it is silicone, but it's like a hard plastic that's got a little bit of flex. So it's got a little spreader on that end. So if you want to spread a thin amount to stop your paper wrinkling on thinner papers, they've got that end as well. I will come back to you when I've tested them because I've not used this particular brand yet. These were a VIP bundle. It was buy 3 get 3 free. So I got 6 of them, and in total that came to £8.97 on mine, but I think I used some points, so I'm guessing it was probably $8.99. For bigger surfaces, I also thought I'd try the multi-purpose glue, a VIP bundle price. These were £3, so these were £1 each. They've got like a point, like a little nozzle with a spreader shape. They've all got a plastic cap in them so that they shouldn't dry out. I got the corner notcher, and that was £4.49. And I wanted to try the corner and the notch on like envelopes. I wanted a new Brayer, so it was just a basic 10cm Brayer. That was £4.94. And I actually did an Amazon comparison before I bought this, and that's pretty good for a Brayer. They're all similar. I also got the 5x7 stamping plate. Now my understanding is that this is just like a silicone stamp. So this isn't a gel press. I do have a gel press that I've done some things on with my daughter for her artwork, and I've only used it with acrylic paints, but I wanted to have a go using this with some ink techniques, and this is much cheaper than some of them that I've seen. This was £8.09, but it means you can do things like mirror techniques, and you can use it for other inky techniques. I was trying to buy equipment rather than too many things like stamps with my spending money this time. Then I also got some of these little tiny stencil brushes, and these were on a VIP bundle deal. Again, buy one get one half price. So the 2 packs, which is 12 in a packet, were £19.49. I did a little price comparison on Amazon because these are all basically the same, whoever's brand you get. These have got a plastic handle, not a wooden handle. And they've got the flat bristles so that you can ink blend, you know, in small areas. One set that's for distress oxides and one set that's for distress. Don't need a separate brush for every single colour. So maybe you want one for pinks, one for reds, one for oranges, one for yellows and so on. But you don't need one for every single colour. I did get a few things that weren't tools and glues and things. This is Crafter's Companion Anemones. This is die cut and embossing. This was $4.99. Quite a big die, so I don't have very big hands, but hopefully you can see it's quite big. And it's just a nice outline die, and I thought I could do either some inking techniques with this die, or I could do paper piecing, one pass rather than lots of little things. This is the Spellbinders Popular Sentiments. It's the shadow and the word. And I thought it was a nice playful font rather than it being a nice swirly one. So I think this would go well on masculine cards, kids cards. It's not too flourishy. This one was $6.99. Although it's Popular Sentiments, CraftStash have got it in their Christmas section, but I couldn't see anything Christmassy about it. I think $6.99 for a Spellbinders die with the shadows and the words. I think that's a bargain as well. Back to Crafter's Companion. This one was $3.99. This was Magnificent Butterflies. I just really liked the butterfly background stamp. I thought that'd be perfect for all sorts of inky techniques and embossing techniques. And then this one I really splashed out. This is the Simon Hurley wood grain background cling rubber stamp. Because it's red rubber, they're always more expensive. And you can get really fine detail in red rubber, which you can't generally get even in the really high quality photopolymer stamps, which is why they still use the red rubber. Hopefully you can see it's like little dots, so it's like a newsprint. I thought that was really interesting. Great for masculine cards. You could stamp that over on a coloured sheet of paper to make your own wood grain. And I've used quite a lot of wood grain pattern papers, so I thought that would be an alternative if I don't have a wood grain pattern paper in a colourway that I like. And that was my last items. That big bag of things from CraftStash actually was just under £75. That's my birthday money gone, I think. If I can find links for any of this still in stock at CraftStash, same with HobbyCraft and the range, I will link it. The CraftStash ones may be affiliate links. That just means that no cost to you. I might get an affiliate payment if you go through my links. So thank you for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.